My name is Sanjeet. I'm a queer Sikh Indian woman teaching a practice called yoga. And the yoga that I teach isn't about an intense workout, it's very much about uh, finding space for yourself, finding space to breathe however you want, moving however you want. And I'm just here to guide you. This class, the actual leader of this class is you. Um, and also, we move very slowly. So instead of trying to rush through this practice, try to check in with yourself and say, why am I rushing? I will take my time, I will give myself space, and I will move in the way that honors me, even if that's faster than me. Cool? So we begin all our classes in Shavasana. So we get into that position by lying on our back on our mat. And we can lay in Shavasana however we want to. Lots of people like to say you have to be all laying down, all your legs, everything, your hands must be here. I don't really believe in that. I think you should move and lay down and wiggle in whatever way your body needs. If you have a sore lower back today, then maybe bending your knees. If maybe the pressure on your chest is too much for you today to lay strictly on your back, using a pillow or something to prop up the back of the head would feel really nice. Maybe your hands don't want to feel like they're flailing around or at your sides and you want to put them on your belly. There's no rules here. You trust yourself. As we lay in Shavasana, the first little while is just noticing. Where is your breath in your body? Where is the tension in your body? We're not trying to change anything. We're not trying to force anything here. We just want to make a little note. Say, my left knee feels a little bizarre today. Or my breath feels like I'm moving very quickly. Might be stuck in my chest. And if you want to, feel free to move those parts or that breath to suit what you wish for. But really here, what we're trying to do is notice the conscious, notice the unconscious, and find the delicate dance in between. Shavasana is that beautiful place between awake and asleep. It is that stillness. And if anything pops into your mind in your Shavasana, we're not trying to force it away. We're trying to say, yep, okay, I see that, but I don't need to pay attention to it right now. So we breathe in and we breathe out in ways that feel and honor us. In ways that allow us to lay back, to feel nice and quiet, to understand what it is to be mindful, and ultimately to let gravity do its job. Letting the beautiful yet delicate force of gravity in our body, at least perceived delicacy, to find us a place to snuggle into our mats. What a beautiful place to be, supported by the earth, by the ground below us. So we can lay back and breathe in that oxygen, that prana, and breathe out that carbon dioxide, also prana. Life for us and life for plants and beings. Every breath we take helps something else. Every breath we take helps our mind to calm. Taking note of your breath now compared to the beginning of class. Is it the same? Has it shifted? Not trying to change it further, but just simply trying to note where it is and what it's doing. Feeling the imprint of your body on your mat or the towel that you're on or the floor, whatever you choose to practice on. Feeling supported by that. Can we consider what we no longer want or what we wish to let go? We are in such a supportive situation, such a supportive position. Is there something you wish to recover today? If you wish, and when you're ready, we're going to start bringing life back to the body. It's going to be as simple as maybe wiggling your fingers and your toes. It could maybe move to bigger movements like rolling the wrists and the ankles. Really just finding a little wiggly energy to help feel that tingly electricity wake in you. Maybe taking bigger movements, you could bend the knees and pedal the feet, kind of rolling the shoulders while you're on the mat. Definitely very wiggly, and that's okay. And when you're ready, and only when you are ready, we can either plant the feet up to the sky if they're not already there, and just find a nice little massage for our lower back. If we like, and if it feels good for our body, hugging in the legs to give ourselves a nice little hug. Could be a preferred method to go into happy baby. Nice open position. just moving in your intuition right now. What is your body craving? Nice little hugs. And when you're ready, and only when you feel ready, we're going to make our way however you want to seated. Could be rolling up. It could be going from fetal position, so flopping over to your left, using your right hand to press into the mat so you get up to seated. Beautiful. We're going to do some of my favorite little warm-ups. And I think they're really important to do so consistently because you can really feel, at least I really feel, the results of me being at the computer all day. I feel like I'm hunching forward more than ever in my life. And I want to help you all, if you have this as well, to find some length in the front body and find some looseness in the back body. It's a pretty big problem, and there are some nice moves that we can do on a consistent basis to help check that. So we're going to start with our hands behind our head. If you have shoulder stuff, or if you pulled a muscle, or maybe you've been vaccinated recently and your arms are tired, move through these as much as you need to. There's no pressure here. I can't see you. This isn't a competition. So trusting yourself. So hands behind the head. On our inhale, we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Any amount, whatever feels good, whatever spice level. And on our exhale, we're going to swing our elbows forward, curl the top half of our back so we look at our ankles. Inhaling up and open. Exhaling, going forward and curling. You can do this again, opening up. And then swinging the elbows forward and curling. Let's do one more round of that. Inhale. And exhale. Placing the fingertips on the mat behind you, you're going to point your fingers towards your bum. We're going to puff out our chest. This is really important here. And we're going to tuck in our chin a tiny bit to cause a nice length in the back of the neck. And on our inhale, we're going to bring our right ear towards our right shoulder. The secret here is really keeping that chest puffed, keeping that chin tucked in, and we'll feel a nice little stretch. And where this stretch will happen for you will be different for everybody. Sometimes I teach this to my mom, and she feels it in her calf muscle. So just trusting that whatever's happening is what your body needs for a stretch. Back to neutral. Let's keep that chest puffed, that chin tucked in, left ear to left shoulder. Back up to neutral. Let's do one more side of each. So right ear to right shoulder. Neutral, left ear to left shoulder. Back up to neutral. Taking the arms into a cactus position. We're going to do similar to the first move with our hands behind our head. So we're going to open up that cactus, bring our shoulder blades together. And on your next exhale, you're going to swing the arms forward. You're going to keep your hands engaged. There's a block between your hands. And you're going to curl so you look down at your ankles. Inhaling to open back up. Exhaling to swing forward. Inhaling to open up. Exhaling to swing forward. Okay, giving those a little bit of a shake. Moving intuitively for a little bit. What does your body want? When you move in a certain way, was that like, oh yeah, that was a good one? Okay, we have one more. So we wrote a really cheeky note, and we're going to slide it underneath the door. So slipping the note under the door, this will be our right hand. Our left ear is going to come towards our left shoulder. So slip that note, left ear to left shoulder. This can be a perfect amount of spicy for someone. Sometimes, today, I think this might be my length of spicy. If you wish to add more spice to this position, you can take your left hand and place it just above your right ear. Not pushing down, just letting the weight of your hand be a little bit more. Other option is you can point your fingers up to the sky and maybe rotate between the two to see, how does this feel in comparison to the other? Holding this just for another couple of breaths. Okay. If your hand's on your head, taking your hand off, bringing a head back to neutral, the arm back in, and let's do the same on the other side. So left hand is going to slip that cheeky note, right ear to right shoulder. For spice addicts, right hand can come above the left ear. You can point your fingers up to the sky and see how that might change where you're feeling some of that stretch. One more breath here. If your hand's above your ear, removing your hand, coming back to neutral. And let's just do one forward fold. We'll open up us a little bit more. So lifting our hands up to the sky. We're just going to lean forward any amount. This could be your forward fold. This could be your forward fold. Literally whatever along the lines of this is a beautiful forward fold. We're just trying to find space where our shoulders aren't earrings. They're opening up that chest muscles, engaging the spine a little. Just feeling and noticing our form. Beautiful. Walking the hands back towards the body. We're going to do a quickie meditation because we never remember to meditate outside of class. Hands up to the sky or down to the ground or in your favorite mudra, whatever you want to do. We're going to sit up whatever tall is for our body. Shoulders away from the ears. Thinking about our head having a string pull through it, stacking up nice and tall. Keeping our eyes closed, and if our eyes don't close today, that's okay. Taking a soft gaze. I really love etymology, so my prompt for you in your meditation today, you can stay with your breath if that's where you'd like to be. But my prompt today is, I was laying in bed last night and I started thinking about the term recover and recovery. I said, oh, what a weird word, recover, as if like something was exposed. Sometimes we feel like part of ourselves or our lives are too exposed, and I was thinking about how that kind of is interesting, because when we do recover, we go back in and we mend our wounds, and it's almost like you're, putting on a new layer of skin or patching up a hole, and we are recovering parts of vulnerability. So I looked up the etymology of the word, and the root of recovery is a word called capio. Capio means I capture, I take in, I understand, and I take on. I'll repeat. Capio means I capture, I take in, I understand, I take on. And I think that's really amazing. Because when we study and we practice yoga, it is a form of taking in, taking on, understanding, and moving forward. So your process of recovery doesn't always have to be, quiet and maybe licking our wounds. I do that a lot. I do it all the time. And that's important too. But sometimes if we rephrase it or we rethink about recovering or recovery, we can think about it in philosophical terms of taking in, taking on, and understanding as that yoga, as that unity. As it uniting things that no longer felt like they were ours and putting them back in our form, uniting, ourselves. So my prompt for you today in class is, what is recovery to you, and what are you trying to recover? What do you want to take in and understand? Last couple of breaths here. Taking them however you'd like. Could be breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Maybe breathing in and out through the mouth. Maybe a nice few sighs here will feel really good. When you're ready, and if you want to, this meditation can be your entire yoga practice today. But if you'd like to, fluttering your eyes open, and we can bring our hands to the front of the mat. Unfurling ourselves in whatever way our body allows to come to a table position. So, we're going to move through cat-cow. So cow being a furling of the back, looking up at the sun. And cat being curling the back, looking down through the toes. Rotating through this through your own breath. In a classical way, the inhale is looking up and the exhale is looking down. But if that's not what you want to do, don't do it. We're looking here mostly to just waken up our spine. Get some of those spinal juices flowing. We take our time with it because our spine is so delicate. You want to give it space to warm and wake up. Just another couple of rounds here. Beautiful. Coming to neutral, we're going to lift our right arm out and we're going to slip it underneath through our left knee and our left arm. Like I said, if you have shoulder stuff, the better option if you don't want to do this position is just moving into child's pose or curled toe child's pose. Also a beautiful stretch. So lifting the arm out, feeding it through, we're going to land on our shoulder. This is just a nice little rotation for the back and a little warming for the shoulders. And if you wish, if you want a little more spice, taking the left hand, placing it on the lower back, and just helping that guide you through a larger twist. Just one more breath here. If your hand's on your lower back, planting it back on the mat, using that left hand to push yourself out to come back to table. We're going to do the same on the other side. So lifting the left arm out, feeding it through so you land nicely on that shoulder. Right hand has the option to plant onto the lower back to encourage a little more twist. But that's totally optional. Noticing if one side of this twist feels much more demanding than the other. Taking note of your body. If your hand is on your lower back, placing it back on the mat and using that hand to push yourself up and back to table. Beautiful. We're going to push up into our first downward dog of the class. And like always, it'll probably feel a little rusty. And that's okay. Pedaling your feet. Moving however you need to. Maybe shifting your weight from one leg to another to encourage those legs to wake up. We can lift our right leg up, place the ankle onto the left thigh as an encouragement to go a little deeper if you wish. Releasing. Let's do the same on the other side if you'd like to. Lifting that left leg up, placing the ankle on the right thigh to encourage a little bit of a deeper fold in the legs there. Planting that foot back down, and we walk the hands towards the feet or the feet towards the hands in a forward fold. For those that wish, a half flat back is also a great option here. Don't force yourself to keep your knees straight. Bend them as much as you need to. Rolling your way up. Nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow. Till we come to a beautiful standing position. So, I feel like most of you know the Hatha Sun salutation routine, but I'll still start off the first round slower. Then we'll pick up the pace. So, bending the knees, hip width apart, finding nice strength in our legs, finding nice strength in our core, finding nice strength in our bum. We inhale, sweep our arms up and back into a little back bend. Hands come to prayer and we fold all the way forward. Planting the fingertips in the mat, step the right foot back, plant the knee, and look up at the sky. Flat hands, plank. Knees, chin, and chest come to the mat. Our bum stays nice and tall. Inhaling, we push up into a cobra. Exhale, we pushing down into a downward dog. Lifting the right leg up, stepping it between the hands. We find a lunge on the other side. Left and right foot meet, forward fold. Inhaling, swooping up and back. Exhale, downward dog. Downward dog. Not this one, prayer hands. So that's the general feel. We're going to pick up the pace a little bit. Moving in your own breath, moving in your own pace. I can't see you, so do what you need to do. Inhale, sweeping up and back. Exhale, folding forward, fingertips plant, left leg steps back. Flat hands, plank, knees, chin, and chest to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Left leg lifts, steps between the hands. Lunge. Left and right foot meet, forward fold. Inhale, swooping up and back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, right leg steps back for our lunge. Flat hands, plank. Knees, chin, and chest. Inhale. Cobra. Exhale. Downward dog. Right leg lift, steps between the hands. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale. Up and back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Thinking about this in Ha and Ta. Hatha Yoga, sun, moon. Inhale, Ha. Exhale, Ta. Fingertips plant, left leg steps back. Ha. Flat hands, plank, knees, chin, and chest. Ta. Inhale. Ha. Exhale. Ta. Nice. Let's hang out here for a second. Lifting the left leg up. Let's step forward into that lunge, and let's hang out here for a second. We're going to curl the toes of our right foot behind us, and we're going to lift our knee off the ground, if that feels okay. This can be a nice little lunge. It can be a little tough if your hands aren't flat on the mat. It can be a lot of pressure on their fingertips. So what we're going to do is walk that right back foot forward a tiny bit, and we're going to enter our lunge that way. So just a nice little crescent here, nothing too crazy, just finding something, any amount that feels good for your body. You want it deeper, you can take that foot back again. If you wiggle, that's okay. Just holding this lunge for another 2 big breaths. Bringing the hands alongside for a little more stability. We're going to walk that back foot that we had forward again. Both our feet are going to point forward, so you're going to act as if you can take a nice step. And we're going to bring our arms towards our back, clasping onto our elbows. From here, we're just going to hinge our hips forward. Both legs are straight or straight-ish, and taking as wide of a stance as you need to find stability here. We're looking for both of our hips to point forward on the mat. We're also aiming to have as straight as a back that works for us. So the point of this posture isn't to bend as far as you can, but more so to keep that integrity of the structure. Pyramid pose, so keeping nice strong lines. Just going to hold this for another big breath. And then we're going to do something, and you don't have to do it, but we're going to try it out. We're going to spread the toes of our left foot. We're going to lift ourselves up so we can walk our right foot forward a little bit. Hands can stay where they are. Hands can go above the head. But what we're going to do is just play with balance here. So this is totally optional. You can bend your knee as much as you want to, keeping those toes really spread. We're just going to send our right foot back and just play with our buddy gravity for a couple of seconds. We don't do a ton of balancing stuff on my classes. I know it's really tricky. It's okay to fall out. I do all the time. Trying to exit out of that elegantly, easier said than done. Let's do a little forward fold from here. So, keeping our feet both pointing forward, our knees don't need to be locked. We're going to send our arms up to the sky, and we're going to fold forward any amount. This is a fold forward. Grabbing onto the shins is a fold forward. You can use blocks here if you have them, fingertips, planted hands, whatever your forward fold looks like, it's great. Taking a larger stance too can actually help this position a lot. Holding this just for another couple of breaths. To get out of this position, we're going to bend our knees. We're going to engage our bum muscles, engage our core muscles so we're not dumping our weight in our knees. And we're going to unhinge and wiggle our feet together. So we're going to bring our right foot forward to get back into that lunge so we can do the same kind of positions on the other side. So our lunge is going to be a standing lunge. We can take it as wide as we want to. Arms can lift and we can do a little bend and a crescent. Finding some stability for us. If you wish, drishti point or point of eye focus can be up towards the sun. One more breath, everyone. Hands can come alongside the body. We're going to walk our left foot forward a tiny bit. And we're going to make sure that our feet are both pointing forward as if we could take a nice big walk forward. Our hips are also going to try to point forward. Hands can come and cup the elbows. Some people like prayer. And from here, we're going to adjust until it feels right. And we're going to hinge. Remembering what I said about trying to not curl the back, but trying to keep a nice, strong line for a pyramid pose. It's not about how far you go. It's really about integrity. Just holding this position for another 2 breaths. Then we're going to spread our toes and we're going to defy gravity if we can. And even if we can, it's a lot of fun. So, spreading the toes of the right foot. We can bend the knee as much as we want to. Hands can stay where they are behind the back or lift up above the head. And we're going to hinge forward and lift our back foot. And just see what happens. Trying to leave that position as elegantly as possible, but no pressure from me. Our last standing position is going to be a little goddess. So we're going to point our toes towards the corners of the mat. And I'll give people an option if they didn't feel comfortable doing that last kind of wild take on a warrior 3. I'll give an option to try to balance pose here. So goddess is pointing the toes towards the corners of the mat. We're going to rotate our hips forward, so not sticking our bum out, kind of tucking our bum in. Hands are going to come to our cactus position like we were in earlier. Less spicy is taller, more spicy is lower. For those that wish to try a little balance, can try to balance on their tippy toes in this position. No pressure from me. This is also called Kali or Kalima position because you can go. Which facial yoga is a whole separate thing. There's a lot of tongue stuff that happens in some of the first few texts. One more breath, everyone. I know this one can be a bit of a burn. Pushing up out of this position, coming out of it. Nice wiggle time. Moving intuitively. What does your body need? We've stretched our muscles. Now we have to remind them that they can relax too. Nice, intuitive, just being weird and moving your body how it needs to movements. Wonderful. When you're ready, let's meet with our bums on the mat. So, these next positions are going to be a couple of forward folds. The options of them are numerous, and I'll give you a couple. You can either fold forward in the classic Dandasana version, which is just keeping both your legs straight. Another option, if you wish and it feels better for your specific body, is taking a bit of a wider stance here, pulling out any extra bum flesh that you have to find a place in your sit bones. We're going to lift our arms up and we're going to walk any amount. Doesn't have to be anything Olympian or anything Olympic. We're just trying to find a nice stretch here. Just a little reminder for our back and our legs and our hips that we have their best intention in mind. Sometimes we don't. I think they feel neglected. I know for some people that forward folds are kind of like the bane of existence. They're often that for me. I think a big thing to remember is your legs don't have to be straight. You can take a little bend. You can play around. You can move it. There's no hard and fast rules for your body, so you trust yourself and move intuitively. One more breath in whatever fold you're choosing to do. Releasing from whatever place you may be holding onto and walking yourself back up. If you did take a wider stance forward fold, bringing your legs back to the center. And what we're going to do here is a bit, if you are feeling cranky in your wrists, it's probably not the posture for you today. We're going to be bringing our hands behind our back, pointing our fingertips towards our bum. And what we're doing here is actually lifting our hips up to the sky. Our toes are going to point forward. I know this can be a tricky position. So even just trying it, even if, for a second, and if you're saying nope, then don't do it. But you did a great job for trying. We're just going to hold this for 2 more big breaths. And super slowly, we let it release. Beautiful. Last official position or classic physical asana of class is we're going to lengthen our left leg. We're going to bring our right leg over. This can be the perfect twist. You can stay here. If you wish, you can tuck that left leg under. I'll twist my body so you can kind of see the formation. You want to see that your butt, both your bum cheeks, kind of touch the mat. And from here, we're going to lift our right arm up, and we're going to hook our elbow onto the inside of our right knee. Our left hand is going to go towards the back of the mat, and our gaze, if it can, no worries if not, may follow it. Those that wish for spicy or are feeling a little extra bendy today can take a bound position, feeding the head through the body. I've also seen people do it around the leg. Whatever suits you. If you're bound, removing the bind. Twisting yourself back to a neutral version. And then doing a little counter twist, so turning towards your right. Just to undo or give a little balance to that twist. We're going to do the same on the other side. So right leg straightens out, left leg goes over. Right leg can stay as is or can tuck beside it, beside your left butt cheek. Left hand cups onto the outside of the left knee. Right hand sends behind, and we follow our gaze. If your neck is cranky, just looking forward, that is totally okay. Other option is to bind if people wish to bind. Hands release if you're in a bind. We're going to come back to a neutral spine. Maybe twist or counter twist to the left side a tiny bit. And meet me in whatever way feels good for your meditation. You can use a meditation pillow. You can sit cross-legged. You can sit on a couch. We're going to do the Shiva breath, pranayama around, using the nose as a flute. So ring finger and pinky finger come together. Pointer finger and middle finger come together. Pointer finger and middle finger come into the middle of the eyebrow. So where people put a bindi on their forehead or where the pineal gland is. Thumb is used to cover the right nostril. Ring finger is used to cover the left nostril. If you're having a little bit of allergies, this might not be the breath for you, or it might be a good time to blow your nose. So, when we inhale through our left nostril. So we lift our ring finger up. Closing it off with closing our left nostril with our ring finger, we're going to breathe out of our right nostril. Breathe into the right. Hold and close it with your thumb. and breathe out through the left. In through the left. Hold, opening up the right nostril and breathing out the right. In through the right. Hold the breath and breathe out through the left. In through the left. Hold, out through the right. In through the right. Hold, out through the left. In through the left. Hold, out through the right. In through the right. Hold, out through the left. In through the left. Hold, out through the right. In through the right. Hold, out through the left. Removing the fingers from the face and breathing in your own pace. Recovery looks different to every person. Recovering or recover can mean to find, hold, take on, and understand. As you work through things, sometimes it's the subtlest things, the subtlest movements, the subtlest thought processes that allow you just to understand, take on, and recover. As always, I highly encourage you, but you make the rules, to lay back in Shavasana or stay in seated meditation beyond this class, taking your time to enter back into your day, even if it's 30 seconds. Thank you so much for coming to class today. I'm so happy that it's such a nice day. I hope you all have time to go outside. And I'll see you all next week. Sending a lot of love.